Hi everyone, welcome to Border Text with StewiejP. I'm Stewie and this is the Object 140. Being driven today by TxTheBest from Rats Clan. I was in a clan with TxTheBest not so long ago and I'll tell you what, he's a hell of a nice guy and a very good tanker. Here he goes on, what's this map called? Muravanka. It's the one that I can never remember. It's a standard game and he's platooned up with his old mate Smithy from Bull Clan and Shapeshifter. 1974, also from Bull Clan. They're in their IS-7 and the J-Panzer E100. TxTheBest in his Object 140. Object 140 APCR rounds are standard. 320 average damage, 264 pen, if that's not enough. 330 pen with heat, which is high explosive anti-tank missiles. Just asking his platoon mates a few questions in the chat, which tells me he's probably not using TeamSpeak or Discord or any of the voice communications in this game, but probably doesn't really matter because the IS-7 looks like he's going on the other flank and he's just met quite a number of enemy tanks down there where TX is pushing the eastern side through the Magic Forest, which is where mediums normally go on this map. Looking at the lineup, only 3 medium tanks on TxTheBest's side. Of course, TX is one of them, and a lot of mediums on the enemy side, but they haven't gone the Magic Forest, which is a little bit unusual, as TxTheBest sees and shoots the IS-3, doesn't get spotted, so he's probably thinking, your beauty, this is just going to be money for jam. Wait for his gun to reload, puts another shell into where the IS-3 was last seen. He's no longer spotted. The AMX 1375 doing a good job though, lighting up the T54. Toe Jam from Banff Clan just being wonderful in the in-game chat. Probably blaming everyone else for him dying, I don't know. But TxTheBest, nearly picked up the kill on that T54, but the T34 did the job, the big American premium heavy tank. TX letting his teammates know he hasn't been spotted. Of course, as soon as you say that, you're going to get lit, aren't you? That's just what happens in World of Tanks. As he starts moving back, he's probably got one eye on that IS-7, who looks like he is just pushed straight through the guts without much resistance. He's on about half health, I think he was on about 1200 or 1500 hit points. At big tier 10 Russian heavy tank. And TX looking for a shot into the side of that IS-7. That big red building's in the way though. There you go, that'll help. 334 damage into the tier 10 Russian heavy tank. It looks like he's still not lit, TxTheBest. Just looking to see if he could get a shot on that M103 or the E50, but there are too many buildings in the way, so he keeps moving around. And the Smithy gets taken out on the other side of the map by the IS-7. Nice side shot into the IS-7, doesn't quite penetrate. He's only on 182 health, but he really wants to get rid of that tier 10 tank. The Jag just put a massive shell into the E50M. Of course, the Jag Panzer E100, it might have a big reload, but it's got an absolute ripper of a gun. Does around about 1,000 hit points of damage. And at this point of the replay, you're probably thinking, what are you doing, Stu? He's down 4-7. He's done 1678 damage, which isn't too bad. He's still on full health, so he's still, he's still in with a chance. To have a good game. His team's down by 3 tanks. A number of low health tanks on the enemy side. That E50M, we remember, has been punched in the guts by a Shapeshifter. And he's on reasonably low health. That IS-7 was on about 100 and something hit points. One shot for TxTheBest's medium gun. That Object 140 is on the other side of that mound, so he's not going to get a shot on him. And that low is just out of TxTheBest's view range. Looks like the low put a shot into the Jag Panzer E100. 4-8 to score. 1678 hit points of damage done. The low's still being spotted, but he's just outside of TxTheBest's render range, so he's not going to be able to shoot him. But I think he'll be behind a mound anyway over there on the red line at C1. 4-8 the score now. His team's in a bit of strife. T34 on the low on TX's side have pushed all the way to the enemy cap. But it looks like maybe they're being lit, maybe they're being shot at by those 2 T25 pilots. Fires clutch towards the RU251. Doesn't manage to land the shot, but he doesn't get lit, so it's not all too bad. He's hoping it'll get a shot, but now it looks like he's running a long way away, that Russian light tank. AMX 1390 picks up the kill on the Tier 8 German. Did I say Russian? With a name like RU, it should be Russian, shouldn't it? But anyway, they picked up the kill on the German light tank. The ISU 152 takes out that T34 that was pushing the base, and I don't think that low is going to be around for much longer. His days are clearly numbered, as TX, even though you can't see the low on the enemy side, you can still hit it. If the shell lands, you can certainly still hit it. So he's putting a few blind shots towards the Tier 8 premium German heavy tank. 5-9 the score. I think it's about to go 5-10 because that low is absolutely surrounded down in the south, as TxTheBest is coming back up to help his Jagdpanzer E100 boat. Only other tanks left on his team is the big German Tier 10 artillery, the GW E100, the Type 61, the Tier 9 Japanese medium tank, and of course that 1390 who picked up the kill not so long ago. Looking for a shot on the low, not really presenting itself. He probably wants to get rid of that Object 140. It's a one shot. The low is on full health. Type 61 copped a big smack in the mouth. And he's clearly lit here. The M103 shooting towards the Jag. Doesn't quite have the gun discretion. Shapeshifter picks up the kill on the M103, but then he gets taken out by the enemy artillery, the big American T92. TX finally picks up the kill on the enemy Object 140 as I have a quick mouthful of coffee. GW 100 in a world of strife on the northeastern part of the map as they get surrounded by the T49 and the T25 Pilot 1. Of course, there's two T25 Pilot 1s, so I wouldn't be surprised if the other T25 Pilot 1, who was last spotted at J8 along with the E50M, I wouldn't be surprised if they pushed all the way through the Magic Forest, because that side's been undefended for some time, and of course the GW E100 got taken out by those tanks. TX looking at the E50M now, who's one shot, puts a shot into him, picks up his third kill of the game, 2,057 damage done, as well as nearly 2,000 assisted damage. And now it is a 2 versus 6 scenario here as the T49 pushes on the AMX 1390 and the T49. They're both one shots for each other. Of course, the T49 with that big derp gun. Power of Steel AMX 1390 picks up the kill on the American derp tank. TX shoots and bounces the T25 Pilot 1. I've only had 1 or 2 games in that tank. It's not a bad. I don't mind it. Some people don't like it, but I reckon it's pretty cool. I think it's a good balance of speed and armour for an American premium, for yet another American premium medium tank. 10-14 now, 1 versus 5. If you can pull this off, it's going to be a Kolobanovs. Puts a shot into the T25 Pilot 1. The enemy T92 killed the ISU 152. No idea where that ISU 152 was. I might have to watch this replay again just to see where he is. And he's killed the IS7, bounces the T25 Pilot 1, doesn't bounce the other one. And focusing on the lower health American premium medium tank first, which is the right thing to do. That one shot and missed. Picks up the big kill. Look at that tank burn. And of course, TxTheBest on 447 health. You'll be bearing in mind that artillery. The artillery could certainly one-shot TxTheBest on 447 hit points. T25 Pilot 1 he auto-aims on, and he's just trying to outmaneuver him. And he's going to have the advantage of armour, I guess. But he's picked up his 6th kill. And he needs to keep moving in case that artillery fires. 14 all now. Remember, it was 2 versus 6, 1 versus 5 not so long ago. 1 versus 5 equals a Kolobanovs medal if you can pull it off, as TxTheBest from Rat's Clan goes straight down the 1-2 line. And he'll be looking for the normal artillery spots, I guess. Probably around about K1 all the way over to K0. 4,346 damage done by TxTheBest. 480 damage blocked as he lights the T92 is gone for high explosive ammunition. High explosive might do 420 damage if it pens. I'm not sure if... I don't know if that's the right thing. I don't know if that's the right thing to do when you come up against Artie, because it doesn't always work. There you go, the T92's fired, so TX says you beauty. I think it's 30 or 40 seconds before he's going to be able to fire again. And of course the T92 is hopelessly trying to run, but it doesn't really matter. Puts his first shot in for 215. Second shot, as well as a ram, kills him, gives him 7 kills, and of course the Kolobanov's medal. Have a look at that. What a ripper of a game. On Muravenka, TxTheBest from Rats Clan, Ace Tanker Mastery Badge for that effort. The Spotter medal for all the spotting damage that he did. Hand of God, Bruiser, Duelist, Fire for Effect. There's the big one. The Kolobanov's medal for standing alone against 5 or more enemy tanks and winning, even though the artillery did its job and picked up the kill on the Russian tank destroyer, which certainly helped a little bit, but I reckon TX would have had it covered. He also got the high caliber for doing at least 20% of the total hit points of damage on enemy vehicles, and of course the Top Gun. Plenty of tanks damaged and killed there, and of course he clearly top scored. The T92 on the enemy side did have a good game, 6,000 damage. You've got to be happy with that, but 4,846 hit points of damage, 7 kills was enough for an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge for TxTheBest from Rats Clan. He fired 33 shots, 23 hit, 18 did damage, and nearly 2,000 assisted damage. Didn't quite make any coin with a standard account, but he had an absolute ripper of a game. On Muravenka, picking up the Kolobanov's medal, which is always worth a massive high five in any tank. As we move on to the second game, there's always 2 games on World of Tanks with StewiejP, if I can find a good one, and this one's from MatchyHK, who's no stranger to this channel. MatchyHK from Raise Clan, platooned up with his old mate, I don't even know what that says, CHL, MSB, SK, who knows. He's in the STB1 anyway, his platoon mate, from RGSON clan, and in this game, it's a standard game, and this is not going to be like a lot of Matchy's replays. A lot of Matchy's replays, they are over pretty quickly, and he does get stuck right in, and he'll get stuck right in this game on Redshire, but it goes for a little bit longer than normal without giving too much away. Matchy's platoon mate up on the hill where the medium tanks often do their business. Matchy going through this trench on the western side of the map. He's found Centurion 7-1. Doesn't want to get stuck right into him. He doesn't know what else is coming. E75 certainly coming. That's who probably lit him. And of course he needs to be wary of that Object 140 in the centre of the map. And that's why he's zooming out and having a look there. His platoon mate puts a shot into the E75. As Matchy puts a nice shell into the side of the top of the turret of the Centurion 7-1. Centurion 7-1 running now. He knows Matchy's pretty good. He's seen, have you seen it? 2 marks of excellence on that gun. That very, very handy Russian gun in the Object 140. As he starts to pull back now, doesn't want to lose any health unnecessarily. He's already put a couple of shots into the Tier 9 British medium tank, but he's got no idea where all those other enemy tanks are. Only 5 enemy tanks have been spotted, make it 6. A couple on the west with Matchy. Matchy's got the T54 for company, and of course the STB1. Assisting from the middle, no idea what this Centurion one is doing up here. He probably, maybe is good, maybe he wants to have a closer look at the T92, but he's not going to be too useful in that position. Even though he's a Tier 9 tank, he really should be. Maybe, you know, if this Centurion won, he could come and help the STB. He could do anything other than sit back here and snipe like a tank destroyer or an artillery. Lots of enemy tanks in the centre of this map now, as the T28 prototype gets killed on the other side of the map. Matchy gets lit, but he puts a shot into the Object 140 on the enemy side, aiming towards the baby Batchat. And I think he put a critical hit into the Tier 9 auto-loading French tank. Lots of enemy heavy tanks on the eastern flank, and they're only being held up by a Defender and a Type 4 Heavy to zip the score. Matchy's going to have to pull something out of the bag, because that looks pretty drastic over here. The Defender and the Type 4 aren't going to hold him up for much longer. The Type 4 gets done. Looks like there's a Stritchwagon tank and an auto-loading American heavy medium tank there, but they're not going to last too much longer either, and they're running like their lives depend on it, because they do. 0-5 the score now. Matchy hasn't really made much of an impact yet. His platoon mate picks up the kill on that 7-1, and looks like the Jag Tiger aiming Matchy's way with that German tank destroyer. No, he's giving him his side, so he puts a shot into the side of the Tier 9 German tank destroyer for 288. Bit of a low roll, but we'll take whatever RNG gives you. Lots of enemy tanks in the centre, a hell of a lot in the north, or the northeast. Matchy just chips away at this Jag Tiger. He's hoping that the enemy artillery isn't going to be looking his way. There's only one, but it's an auto-loading Batchat artillery, so he'll be bearing that in mind. And that's why he's hugging this rot, just to try and keep a bit of cover as he fires clutch and lands a shot into the Jag Tiger, the Tier 9 German tank destroyer, and starts chipping away at the T-44, zooming in, zooming out like a madman, which is what Matchy does. Bounces a shot from the T-44, so he's still on full health, and he's already done 2,165 damage. It's always good when you've put out your own output of damage without taking a shot. That's always got to be a pretty good feeling. But it looks like these central tanks are doing a big push. They've taken out his platoon mate in the STB-1. Matchy using these buildings as cover. Takes the baby Batchat down to a one-shot, and they need to get some kills in this game if they're going to turn this one around. The Centurion 7-1 at the back. He'll be probably thinking, oh, what am I going to do now? There's nowhere else to go, as Matchy takes another 309 hit points out of the Jag Tiger, using the undulations of the ground to his advantage to try and minimise the chances of copping any damage. Bounces a shot from the Jag Tiger, takes him down to 491. Bounces a shot from the T-44 and takes him down to 484. So these two tanks are not quite one-shots, but they're certainly getting there. Matchy picks up the kill on the Jag Tiger, finally cops a little bit of damage from that T-44, who is not going to be able to brawl too well against the Object 140. He's a one-shot now, the Tier 8 Soviet tank. Matchy picks up his second kill, 3-6 the score now, 4,000 damage done, 1310 damage blocked. This is turning into an absolute ripper, but his team is still down by 3 tanks as he looks into the centre. It's always thirsty work commentating on Matchy's games. He bounces a shot from the Batchat, puts a shot into the Tier 10 French auto-loading medium tank. And this is just a case of Matchy taking advantage of whatever the enemy team puts to him. There's an E75 coming up behind him though. He needs to be mindful of that. Moves around here to take that E75's gun out of the game and make it so that he can't shoot him. Pushes onto the Object 140. He's going to start brawling now. He's got a dead drive up, puts another shot into the Tier 10 Russian medium tank. Matchy clearly got more hit points than the Object 140. One more shot will do it. The Stritchwagon 103 picks up the kill. He fixes his driver. They're only down by 2 tanks now, and Matchy just looking around the map, seeing where the advantages are. Of course, he'd be crazy to go around this side. That's where the enemy tank's advantage is, in the northeast. But Matchy's looks like he's gonna try and take on this 113, the Chinese heavy tank, on 938 hit points. Matchy only on 656. 2 shots into the 113. Second shot tracks him, so he picks up some more assisted damage. Gets a shot into the cupola of the 113, takes him down to a one shot. This should do it. Yes, it does. 3 kills for MatchyHK. 5,617 damage as I dribble. 2,500 damage blocked. A little bit of assisted, and for the first time in this game, Matchy's team are actually ahead by a tank as he cops a shot from the baby Batchat. Aims, doesn't quite land the shot into the auto-loading Tier 9 French medium tank. Looking for the kill shot, but he can't quite find it. Looks like it's going to have to be the Stritchwagon 103 to take the kill on that tank as Matchy shoots and tracks the E75. He's committed on this side now. He's got to hope that his Russian DPM's going to outdo it on the E75, who's probably been alive for a little bit longer than he should have. 4 kills, 6,308 hit points of damage, and Matchy's only on 422. That Batchat could clean him up. He shoots towards the Batchat, but the shot doesn't land. But he's still having an absolute ripper. 6,308 damage done, 2580 damage blocked. He'll pick up a steel wall here if he keeps going this way. 10-8 the score as he starts moving in towards these medium tanks. The Batchat and the baby Batchat. Even though the baby Batchat's only tier 9, but you've got to think between these two auto-loading French tanks, they could certainly do a fair amount of damage. As his first shot misses. Baby Batchat, is he on the reload? I think he might be. The T54 picks up the kill on the Batchat 25T AP, and artillery shoots again. Of course, it's an auto-loading artillery. He needs to be mindful of that. Looks like the tier 10 Batchat's on the reload. No, he's not. He was just running away, and now the tier 10 Batchat's picked up the kill on the T54. The FV215B 183 Death Star finally kills the mouse on the other side of the map, and 12-10 the scores. Only 3 enemy tanks left now. The Batchat, who quite likely, looking at where he is on the mini-map, is quite likely on the reload, so Matchy would love to get a shot into that French medium tank. He fires without really aiming at that AMX 5100. He'll probably be a little bit nervous with all these big guns starting to come near him. Matchy fires blind again towards where the Batchat was last seen. Haven't seen any artillery shells go off for a while. 2 or 3 shells went off around Matchy when he was around this side of the central hill on Redshire. So the good chance that auto-loading artillery piece is reloading. I think it takes about 70 seconds. So he's probably, if you reload it after those shells, he's probably just about reloaded by now. And you've got to bear that in mind. 4 artillery shells in, I think it's 3 or 4 seconds between them, depending on your configuration of your tank and your crew. 12-10 the score. 6,643 damage done by MatchyHK. 2,500 damage blocked. 384 assisted damage. And he's going with this American tier 9 medium tank, the T54E1. Who's on a fair amount of health. He's on 1,300 hit points. And there's the AMX 5100. And Matchy gets lit. He fires clutch towards the French auto-loading heavy tank. T54 picks up the kill. Something else big just hit him. Possibly the Death Star. I don't think the Object 704 would have done that bigger alpha damage into the AMX 5100 unless he had high explosive loaded. Only 2 Batchats left on the enemy side now. The Batchat artillery, which by now surely is reloaded. I didn't see any shells going off. And of course the medium tank. Looks like the medium tank's going for the Death Star now. The FV215B 183. Death Star puts a shell into the Batchat, but not before going down. Took the Batchat down to 403 health, which is a much more manageable level. So MatchyHK is heading straight for him. Maybe the Batchat's going for A1 to try and pick up the artillery kill. Or maybe the Batchat's going to hang around in the hills where Matchy is now. Matchy only on 253 hit points. So he needs to bear that in mind. He's probably the only tank that's got the speed and the manoeuvrability to keep that French medium tank lit. Only 3.5 minutes left in this game as the 907. The Batchat looks like he just charged straight into the 907. And you'd think it's just about all over now on Redshire. 3 minutes left on the clock, and looking at the mini-map again, the T54E1 going straight down the river. Matchy's probably going to try and cover this side. They've got to find out where this artillery is. There he is. Matchy aims. He doesn't land his first shot. Where did it go? Oh, you'll be hoping that this little French thing doesn't get behind a building. He gets one shot into him. Looks like that arty just fired, but Matchy's going to pick up the kill. 5 kills on Redshire, and an absolute ripper featuring Matchy on Redshire. Have a look at this post-game battle results. Not only is it an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge, he's got the Bruiser, Hand of God, Duelist, Fighter, Fire for Effect, Shell-Proof, Steel Wall in an Object 140. I can't say I've ever got one of those. High Caliber, unlucky not to pick up a Top Gun, but there was a lot of tanks that he damaged and destroyed. 7,133 hit points of damage for MatchyHK from Ray's Clan. 5 kills, 1291 base experience. Fired 41 shots. He was nearly out of ammo in the end. He only had a handful of shells left, but 31 hit, 25 did damage, 7,133 damage done. 2,500 damage blocked, a little bit of assisted, 823. Still cost him a fortune though, because he ran out of standard rounds and he had to start firing premium ammunition, even at the artillery at the end. But all in all, not a bad result. Two pretty groovy games featuring the Object 140, the Tier 10 Russian medium tank, TxTheBest, and MatchyHK. Thanks for the replays, lads. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and see you all next time.